Hello and welcome to Jigawa in Focus, your window into the latest development across Jigawa State. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa and I'm excited to bring you today's edition highlighting the progress under Governor Malam Omar Namadi. Now let's begin. Nigeria stands at a turning point. With a population of over 200 million and growing, the demand for food security has never been greater. In response, the federal government has launched a bold mission under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. This drive is not just about growing food. It's about protecting farmers, modernizing agriculture, and securing a sustainable future for the nation. Today, Jigawa State is taking the center stage in this national effort.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, is part of the broader strategy of national agribusiness risk management, which has been pursued by the Presidential Food Security Coordination Units under the Office of the Vice President, who is also being coordinated by the Executive Secretary, Ms. Mariam Moon. The objective of this session is to also create awareness about the work of the PFSU unit and also gain stakeholder buy-in on the importance work being carried out and also inform farmers about what the work of the Presidential Food Security Coordination Unit. And most important, recently the federal government through the units is providing insurance cover to farmers across Nigeria on collaboration with subnationals and an arrangement of payment of the insurance premium on the basis of 1-to-1 ratio, where the federal government is providing grant, while the state is also counter-funding, providing insurance cover to mitigate risks, both productions and non-production risks and copyright risks associated with productions in Nigeria. This effort is in line with the Jigawa State government's effort to transform agricultural sector, whereby for the last 2 seasons alone, under the participating farmers, the rice farmers, over 23,000 farmers are beneficiaries under this scheme in Jigawa State. And Jigawa State has paid in full its own commitment for the insurance cover to address the most critical risks threatening agricultural productions in Jigawa State. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, it might interest you to note that Jigawa has made significant gains in transforming agriculture, whereby there were institutional transformations, there are also technology deployments. Single-handedly, Jigawa State government invested over $16 million to create Jigawa Farm Mechanization Service, equipped with fleet of over 300 tractors, 60 combined harvesters, 150 seeders for rice and maize, and multi-seeders, all equipped. An interesting thing, the model of Jigawa is going to always creating farm service centers. This is one of its kind in Nigeria and one of the greatest models that will ensure retentions. To further segment and ensure sustainability, the project is being pursued through private sector-driven initiative as stipulated by its design. Distinguished guests, as we are talking about transformation of agriculture, I wish to inform you that Jigawa is strengthening the agricultural extension system. From the inception of this administration, from barely 300 extension agents as at today, for both community animal health extension workers and the JIGAWA extension system, we have over 2,000 extension agents and make Jigawa state having the least farmer extension ratio in Nigeria, if not in Africa. To say the state government did this because of the importance, it put emphasis on farmers acquiring the right skill and knowledge and technologies to drive agricultural transformations. And we are continuing to strengthen their capacity, and also that also put us in a very strong position in assessing data for evidence-based decision-making in agriculture in Nigeria. The extent of our commitments is very varied and wide, and as such, wish to say that Jigawa is ready because of its strategic importance and comparative advantage in production of key crops. It may interest you to know that we are leading producer of wheat, sesame, hibiscus, and number 2 rice productions. And we have set out ambitious targets to make Nigeria make substantial savings in import substitutions for wheat importations and rice. And we are ambitious to achieve at least 3.6 million metric tons of rice production by 2030, which will represent about 35 to 40% of national rice demand, as well as also to target achieving 1 million metric tons of wheat, which will also save Nigeria about $1 billion by 2030. So what we are witnessing today is a partnership between the federal government and subnationals to further expand the reach of innovations and partnerships for improvement of the agricultural sector. So I wish to warmly welcome the members of the Presidential Food Security Coordinating Units and our distinguished guests, particularly our dear farmers, and wish us a very fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Through the Presidential Food Security Unit and in partnership with the Jigawa State Government, farmers are gaining access to modern tools, improved seeds, and critical protection against risks that once threatened their livelihoods.
What are those key priorities that we can champion within the presidency to fast track, remove any bottlenecks, and really ensure that we are actualizing the promises of the Renewed Hope agenda? What are these priorities? So as a PFSU, we spent about 1 year really talking to different agencies at federal level. We went down to subnational level. And one of the key things that we saw was that when it comes to agriculture or food systems transformation, Your Excellency, that issue will either be won or lost at subnational level. Our agriculture development is a shared responsibility between 3 tiers of government. And the truth is, we're not always on the same page. And therefore, we saw some bottlenecks. So the first thing we wanted to do was come and look at how do we reorient ourselves so that subnationals are driving agricultural transformation. Our role at the federal level is to support, to create the enabling environment and the supporting policies to ensure that agriculture is thriving at the subnational level. So we are here today, sir, for 2 reasons. The first is the National Agribusiness Mechanism, which is a mechanism where we want to strengthen our data and the information that we have and the planning mechanisms that we have. So we started with 13 pilot states. Your Excellency, Jigawa is one of them, and we participated actively. And we saw that the 2025 wet season had some challenges. We foresaw that farmers were moving away from certain crops due to certain reasons, and also that the NIMET data was showing us a lot of climate risks. And therefore, we looked at how do we support the farmers. And risk mitigation tool is that of insurance. So we worked with the state to be able to offer the insurance, as the DG has talked about. So today we're here just to present the policy along with our partners from Midway and Pula, who will be speaking shortly. So the first is that, the risk mitigation. The second is the caravan. And I'd like to explain, Your Excellency, a little bit about the caravan with a small story, sir. I worked on a project, and we were working in a community. And one of the challenges we saw in the community was that the women were walking almost 3 hours plus to go and get clean drinking water. And we thought, no, this cannot go on. How are we allowing these women to walk all that way and drag all those containers of water back to the village? So we went and we built boreholes next to the village. And guess what? The women of that village threw us out. They were very, very, very upset. And we thought, what? Why are you angry that we have built you boreholes? Guess what these women told us? They said, who told you we need those boreholes? Who told you that is what is paining us the most? You looked at us, decided to feel sorry for us, and you decided what was paining us, and you came to help. Why didn't you ask us? Do you know, walking those 3 hours is the only time we have to ourselves. The only time we can gist with each other. When we get to that water, we can bathe in peace, and then we can walk back. So you have removed that from our lives, and that is so important to us. So something that was important to this community and these women, we saw as a pain point. And the simple issue was, we did not ask that community, right? So the caravan is a platform that we have created that is going around the country, Your Excellency, to start to understand what is happening at subnational level, what is important to the stakeholders at subnational level, both in terms of your leadership and your people, so that as we are bringing programs that we are coordinating at the presidency level, we make sure that these programs are customized and speak to the realities of the people in Jigawa, Your Excellency, sir. So this caravan really, sir, is not our program. It is your program. It is your chance to speak to us so that we can better understand each other. Because what is hurting, or the pain points of the people of Ekiti, the farmers of Ekiti, is not necessarily the same here in Jigawa. As I came driving in this morning, we were driving and they said, no, we have reached the capital. And I said, but there are no people. Where are all the people? Jigawa doesn't have any people, the state capital doesn't have any people. And they told me, no, everybody's at their farm. But this is not what I saw in Nasarawa. This is not what I saw in Ekiti. So already, just arriving here this morning, I can already see that the culture, the way the state works is different. And we want to make sure that we understand those differences, because we have programs that now we need to roll out. Like I said, this unit is here to fast track some of these things. His Excellency the President says he does not want to hear my stories. He wants to hear results. Things are happening, things are moving, and we are actually translating the Renewed Hope agenda into actionable results at grassroots level. So we have a program, the GIP, the Green Imperative, Your Excellency, sir. It is starting early next year, so we need to open the offices by November of this year. Jigawa has volunteered to host the Office of the Green Imperative. It's our partnership with Brazil. So Jigawa will be hosting that office for the Northwest. So before we do that, we want to make sure that we come correct and make sure that how we are bringing these here is in a way that Jigawa will own it, embrace it, and be able to leverage and benefit from it. So with those few words, Your Excellency, that is why we're here in Jigawa. Over the next 3 days, we hope to really talk and engage with the different stakeholders and really get an understanding for what is important to Jigawa, so that we ensure that the different agencies who are deploying these interventions are doing it in a way that makes sense for Jigawa.
This collaboration is more than a policy. It is a lifeline for thousands of families. From new irrigation systems to innovative mechanization, the fields of Jigawa are being transformed into engines of hope. The impact is clear: improved harvest, strong rural economies, and a vision of food sufficiency that goes beyond Jigawa, reaching across the entire country.
This program, which is critical component of food security, initiative of the Real Hope agenda of Mr. President is truly a welcome development, a very laudable and creative idea of stakeholders' engagement for us. It presents a great opportunity and a strong platform for engagement and mobilization of critical stakeholders in our effort to accelerate the momentum of progress toward achieving the most important constitutional obligations to the people of Nigeria, which is food security, as well as we know. The Constitution has obligated governments at all levels to secure the maximum welfare, freedom, and happiness of every citizen based on the principles of social justice. For us, the most critical component of social justice is the food security. For being sustainably able and affordable to all. Indeed, this is consistent with the well-known Muslim health of need, which places food along with air, water, and sleep being topmost in human psychological needs. The process of harvesting harvest relies on really point to broaden and deepen direct engagement and the interaction with all the key actors involved in ensuring food security for our nation, including farmers, agricultural actors, youth, women in agriculture, others involved in agricultural value additions. We believe this initiative provides the robust and pragmatic platform to support farmers and foster sustainable practice in agricultural value chain and food system development. We therefore must passionately salute and commend the leadership of the Presidential Food System Coordinating Unit. In particular, I will commend the effort of Mrs. Marion and her individual team for the ingenuity in coming up with the various initiatives aimed at accelerating the attainment of food security in Nigeria. Which is topmost in Mr. President, the Real Hope agenda for our middle country. And as a technical advisor or technical assistant to the President of Agriculture, coordinator and executive secretary of Presidential Food System, Mrs. Mariano has been very creative in leading this proceed to achieve food security for our nation. With sustained and strong partnership, support collaboration with the states, I believe the effort towards supporting farmers and other key actors in agribusiness will gain more traction to achieve the desired objectives. Even as I commend the ongoing effort of the Presidential Food System Initiative, I will strongly urge for greater support and stronger collaboration with a state like ours. Not only do we have the key to unlock Nigerian agricultural potential, but also greatest commitment in doing so. food security is about sustainability access to sufficient food and nutrition for all individuals and households at all the times. These not only require availability and affordability of food, but also stability and sustainability of food security system, especially if achieved through self-sufficiency. Indeed, the twin objectives of food security and economic diversification have been the primary motivation for our persistent pursuit on the agricultural transformation agenda since assuming the mantle of leadership. More than ever before in the history of Jigawa State, agricultural transformation is truly prioritized as an overarching government policy matching or matched with concrete action, intervention, and new initiatives, the scale of which was never witnessed before. Within a span of about 2 years, our sustained support and initiative in the implementation of our agricultural transformation agenda have firmly placed Jigawa State as a key player in food security and economic diversification drive of the federal government under His Excellency, the President, Senator Tinubu. From the agricultural policy reform and ensuring timely access to subsidized critical agricultural input to quality intensive services, agricultural mechanization, our dual commitment to agricultural transformation agenda is producing results and making the desired impact. To complement our policy reform and agricultural support programs, we have introduced several institutional reforms to ensure sustainability in the implementation of government priorities in the sector. These include, among others, the establishment of Jigawa Farm Mechanization Company and procurement of 300 tractors, 60 combined harvesters, other implements which include about 150 planters and 150 threshers to be managed by this company. And this is with a view to supporting the agricultural mechanization and addressing the dangerous and subsistent nature of centuries old agricultural production system. Establishing a full-fledged Ministry of Livestock Development, which is in line with our unwavering commitment to the development of our livestock sector in the state. With this perfectly aligned with Mr. President's vision for this critical sector, our objective for doing so is to pursue a comprehensive transformation of the sector into a vibrant, sustainable, and global competitive industry, optimally contributing of food and nutrition security, economic growth and diversification, and improved livelihood for livestock farmers in Jigawa State. Number 3, establishment of agricultural transformation agencies. By to drive our grand plan for all the area of agricultural transformation programs we are pursuing. Primarily, the agency is support to the transition from subsistence farming to a productive, commercial and market-oriented agricultural system, promote and adopt new technologies, improve crop varieties, climate-smart agricultural practices. Let me once again profound commend all the ongoing effort to ensure food security for our nation. Our journey to national food security is so far so good. The collective action of the federal government being led by the door of the President Food System Coordinating Unit and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, and many state government is yielding significant positive results. Even as we rejoice the success stories in our journey to the national food security, it is absolutely necessary to maintain policy consistency as a safeguard for sustainability. Mr. President, the Renewal Hope agenda has emphasized sustained program in enhancing agricultural productivity, agro-allied funded industry, food security, and farm incomes. It equally emphasizes that to improve food security, domestic production of food must significantly exceed the growth of our already large populace. While we are witnessing increased food availability and affordability as essential component of food security policies, inconsistent good rating, domestic production of food as emphasized in the Renewed Hope agenda. Equally, the rising cost of agricultural products caused by escalating costs of input, labor, energy could create significant market distortions and disincentives for both small and large-scale farmers, thereby further threatening the nation's capacity for self-sufficient in food production, which is an important guarantee for long-term food security. Accordingly, I will add the policy consistent, even as efforts to address rising costs of food have been very successful. Ongoing efforts to lower the cost of product for farmers would need to be ramped up. Production needs to be incentivized through subsidies and other creative means. Farmers need to be further supported with access to critical inputs at subsidized prices.
Harvesting hope is more than a slogan. It's a commitment to Nigeria's future. A future where no child goes hungry, where farmers thrive, and where food security becomes a national reality. From Jigawa to every corner of Nigeria, the seeds of tomorrow are being planted today. This is Jigawa in Focus. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. See you next time.